directed his vitriol toward the girls, spewing hate speech that echoed through the train car. Feeling threatened and frightened, the girls made the wise decision to move to the back of the train, seeking safety from the verbal assault. Little did they know that their actions would set in motion a series of events that would forever change their lives and the lives of those around them.
Yo, I'm getting so mad 'cause these is two black females, like, and they look very young. Like, what? Like, I'm getting angry.
Girls sought refuge. Two courageous men, Taliesin Mirdan Namkai Meche and Micah David Cole Fletcher, stepped forward to defend them. Namkai Meche and Fletcher confronted Christian, urging him to stop the hate.
What up, YouTube? What up, YouTube? You clicked the title, you read the page. KKK members reacting to life sentences. And they better not act surprised with they racist asses. They better act like they know what the going on. You know what you was doing out there hating people because of how they look and the color of their skin. Things they have no control over. You ought to be ashamed of yourself. We on the road to 4,000 subscribers. I hope you feeling good. I hope you feeling great. You not feeling good. You not feeling great. This video gonna put you in the mood. We gonna sit back, relax. We gonna smoke the dope. Pour you one. Turn the lights off if you got the lights on, man. I'm gonna have mine on though, cause many reasons. One, my dog is right here. He been pissing and pooping all over the place. I don't want to step in nothing. But next time I'm gonna have the lights off. I'm put him out the room. But right now, I just want my baby with me, you know. So yeah, subscribe for the vibe. Let's go.
Jeremy Christian. Our first case unfolds at the Multnomah County Circuit Court, where Jeremy Christian is about to be sentenced for the murders of two fellow passengers on a MAX train in Portland, Oregon. Brace yourself as we delve into the case of bigotry, tragedy, and justice, as we will be uncovering the details of this crime and what the punishment would be. It was a sunny afternoon on May 26, 2017, when a MAX light rail train in Portland, Oregon, became the setting for a horrifying act of hate and violence. The events that unfolded that day would shake the community to its core and expose the dark underbelly of white supremacy. The train was crowded with passengers going about their daily routines. Among them were two black teenage girls who unknowingly became the targets of Jeremy Joseph Christian's racist and anti-Muslim slurs. Christian, a white supremacist with a history of extremist views, directed his vitriol toward the girls, spewing hate speech that echoed through the train car. Feeling threatened and frightened, the girls made the wise decision to move to the back of the train, seeking safety from the verbal assault. Little did they know that their actions would set in motion a series of events that would forever change their lives and the lives of those around them.
Yo, I'm getting so mad 'cause these is two black females, like, and they look very young. Like, what? Like, I'm getting angry.
Girls sought refuge. Two courageous men, Taliesin Mirdan Namkai Meche and Micah David Cole Fletcher, stepped forward to defend them. Namkai Meche and Fletcher confronted Christian, urging him to stop the hate speech and bigotry. But Christian's response was far from peaceful. In a shocking turn of events, he pulled out a knife, brandishing it with a menacing intent. The train car descended into chaos as panic and fear gripped the passengers. In a fit of rage, Christian lunged at Namkai Meche, stabbing him in the neck. Fletcher too.
Oh my goodness. What? The fact that they was protecting those black women again, and they were white, and this is heartbreaking. Like, what? That just blew mine.
Who fell victim to Christian's violent attack, and tragically, another passenger, Ricky John Best, who had tried to intervene, was also stabbed. The train car became a scene of unimaginable horror. In the midst of the chaos, Christian seized the opportunity to escape. He fled the scene, leaving behind a trail of devastation and shattered lives. The police were quickly alerted to the situation and launched a manhunt to apprehend Christian. Eventually, the authorities caught up with Christian, bringing him into custody. Unfortunately,
he was crashing out, and look. This dude knew better. He ain't say nothing. He walking around with a bloody knife.
Trail of devastation and shattered lives. The police were
look at this dude. He black too. He in the wrong place.
Quickly alerted to the situation and
he yeah, fucking nigger. And he probably ain't saying nothing. He know that shit. Nah, boy, I ain't gonna lie. I would have had my guard. I probably would have had to move around. One, I keep me a little on me at all times. You know, you gotta have it on you. I'm a female. You never know. You feel me? So I'd have been looking at him crazy. Like, hold on, what's happening?
launched a manhunt to apprehend Christian. Eventually, the authorities caught up with Christian, bringing him into custody. Unfortunately, Ricky Best and Namkai Meche died from their stab wounds. The attack on the MAX train sent shockwaves through the community, but it also brought people together. The attack garnered national attention, with politicians, civil rights groups, and everyday citizens condemning the act of violence and calling for justice. The incident became a rallying cry to confront the deep-rooted issues of hate speech, racism, and Islamophobia that plague our society. The trial of Jeremy Joseph Christian gripped the nation as the community sought justice for the lives lost and the wounds inflicted on that fateful day. Witnesses took the stand, recounting the horrifying events on the MAX train. Micah David Cole Fletcher, one of the survivors, bravely shared his harrowing experience, providing crucial testimony that would help piece together the sequence of events. The families of the victims, Taliesin Namkai Meche and Ricky John Best, delivered emotional impact statements, their voices filled with grief and anger. They spoke of the profound loss they had endured and the void left by the absence of their loved ones. After careful consideration of the evidence and the impact statements, Multnomah County Circuit Judge Cheryl Albrecht delivered her verdict. She found Jeremy Joseph Christian guilty on all counts, leaving no room for doubt or leniency. The courtroom fell silent as Judge Albrecht pronounced the sentence. Jeremy Joseph Christian received 2 consecutive life sentences and would spend the rest of his life in prison, with no chance of ever getting out. Unfortunately, Christian didn't react well to his sentence and had a dramatic outburst in court, showing no remorse for his actions.
Yeah, that type of hate, man. That type of hate is one of the reasons why, like, I don't be moving close around motherfuckers. Because, you know what I mean? Niggas be acting cool the whole time. They be mad hateful. Like, what the fuck is you so hateful for? Why you got so much hate in your blood? His mama probably a dot. Telling you. Whenever a man usually be that angry, they mama a hoe. I'm telling you.
A seat at Neshoba County District Court where a former Ku Klux Klan member is about to be sentenced. Edgar Killan was responsible for orchestrating the shocking murders of 3 civil rights activists during the Freedom Summer of 1964. Get ready as we delve into the story of Killan's involvement with the KKK and the events that led to the tragic deaths of James Chaney, Andrew Goodman, and Michael Schwerner, as well as explore his trial and eventual sentencing. In the small town of Philadelphia, Mississippi, a man named
Of course, it's Mississippi. Listen, man, before I die, I plan on visiting all the states in America. You know, I'm fascinated with my country. Mississippi ain't one of them. I'll be honest with you. Nope. Sorry.
Edgar Killan was born on January.
And neither is Alabama. Nope. Sorry.
January 17, 1925. As the oldest of 8 children, Killan grew up in a deeply segregated and racially divided society. But it was his later involvement with the Ku Klux Klan that would forever mark his name in history. Killan was raised in a community where white supremacy was deeply ingrained. Killan's involvement with the Ku Klux Klan began when he became a Kleagle, or Clavern recruiter and organizer, for the Neshoba and Lauderdale County chapters. As a Kleagle, Killan was responsible for recruiting new members and spreading the Klan's message of white supremacy. The Ku Klux Klan, a white supremacist organization, was known for its acts of violence and intimidation against African Americans and those who supported civil rights. Killan embraced the Klan's ideology and became a key figure in the organization. But it was during the Freedom Summer of 1964 that Killan's involvement with the Klan took a sinister turn. James Chaney, a young black man from Meridian, Mississippi, Andrew Goodman, and Michael Schwerner, 2 Jewish men from New York, traveled to Mississippi to participate in voter registration efforts and support the civil rights movement. Little did they know that their lives were in grave danger. Killan, along with Deputy Sheriff Cecil Price, assembled a group of armed men who conspired against, pursued, and ultimately killed the 3 civil rights workers. Samuel Bowers, the Grand Wizard of the local White Knights of the Ku Klux Klan, had ordered the murders to take place, and Killan, as acknowledged by Bowers himself, was the main instigator. The state of Mississippi.
So now y'all want to try him, bro? He's mad old. He done lived this nice, happy life. Like, the the fuck out of here.
At the time, made little effort to prosecute those responsible for the murders. It was only through the efforts of Attorney General Robert F. Kennedy and the Federal Bureau of Investigation that justice began to be sought. In December 1964, a grand jury was convened, and the trial, which took place in 1966, was held at the federal courthouse of Meridian. The all-white jury convicted 7 conspirators, including the deputy sheriff, and acquitted 8 others. However, for Killan and 2 others, the trial ended in a hung jury. Despite the mistrial, the case brought national attention to the violence and resistance faced by those fighting for civil rights. It was a pivotal moment in the history of the civil rights movement. More than 20 years later, investigative reporter Jerry Mitchell dedicated himself to uncovering the truth and seeking justice for the victims. Mitchell's relentless pursuit of new evidence and witnesses led to the reopening of the case. In 2005, Killan was finally brought to trial. As the trial progressed, shocking details emerged. It was revealed that Killan had not only planned the murders, but had also arranged for the bulldozer that buried the victims' bodies in an earthen dam. After days of deliberation, the jury reached a verdict on June 21, 2005, exactly 41 years after the murders took place. The 80-year-old Killan, attending the trial in a wheelchair, was found guilty of manslaughter for his role in recruiting the mob that carried out the killings. The jury rejected the murder charges, but held him accountable for his actions. It was a bittersweet moment for the victims' families, who had waited decades for justice to be served. Circuit Judge Marcus Gordon, in his sentencing remarks on June 23, 2005, emphasized the gravity of the crimes committed by Killan. He stated that each life lost was valuable and that the law made no distinction of age for the crime. Circuit Judge Marcus Gordon sentenced Killan to the maximum sentence of 60 years in prison, with
Boy, he gonna die in 2 years. Like, what are we talking about here?
20 years for each count of manslaughter, to be served consecutively. As his sentence was read, Killan unsurprisingly displayed no emotions at all. The sentencing marked a significant moment in the history of the civil rights movement. It sent a powerful message that those who perpetrate acts of hate and violence will be held accountable, no matter how much time has passed. Gregory and Travis McMichael. At the Glynn County Superior Courthouse, sentencing is currently underway for a father and son who were convicted of shooting a black young man to death. Gregory and Travis McMichael, 2 members of the Ku Klux Klan, were to be sentenced for their involvement.
Oh, I remember that, man. Rest in peace to that young man. He was just jogging, man. Y'all some bitch-ass niggas. And yo, I didn't even know they was part of the KKK. That's crazy.
In the murder of Ahmaud Arbery. Take a seat in the courtroom as we unravel this case that has sent shockwaves through the nation, highlighting the deep-rooted racism that still exists in our society. It was a sunny day in February 2020 when tragedy struck in a quiet Brunswick neighborhood. Ahmaud Arbery, a young black man, went out for a jog, unaware that it would be his last. The perpetrators of this heinous crime were Gregory and Travis McMichael, a father and son duo who harbored deep-seated racist beliefs. On that fateful day, as Ahmaud Arbery jogged through the neighborhood, Gregory and Travis armed themselves with firearms and pursued him in their trucks. Their intentions were far from innocent. They saw a young black man running and immediately assumed he was a criminal. For several minutes, the McMichaels chased Ahmaud, attempting to box him in with their trucks. Ahmaud, unarmed and with his hands in plain view, desperately tried to escape from the armed men. He never spoke a word to them, never made any threatening sound or gesture. He simply wanted to survive. But the McMichaels were relentless in their pursuit. In fact, their neighbor William Roddy Byram joined them, recording the chase despite never seeing Ahmaud before. Finally, Travis McMichael got out of his truck, shotgun in hand, and pointed it directly at Ahmaud. In a split second, a shot rang out, piercing Ahmaud's chest. He was wounded, but his fight for survival was not over. Ahmaud, in a desperate attempt to defend himself, grabbed for the gun. A struggle ensued, and Travis fired 2 more shots into Ahmaud. He stumbled a few steps and fell face first onto the pavement, where he took his last breath. The life of a young man with dreams and aspirations was tragically cut short by the senseless violence fueled by racism. After the chilling events that took the life of Ahmaud Arbery, the nation demanded justice. The trial of Gregory and Travis McMichael shed light on the deep-seated racism that fueled their actions and the need for accountability. In February 2022, the trial began, and the evidence presented was nothing short of shocking. The prosecution painted a clear picture of the McMichaels' racist beliefs and their assumptions about Ahmaud based solely on his race. Travis McMichael's social media comments and text messages to friends were brought to light, revealing his racial animus towards black people. He described them as subhuman savages and expressed a desire to see them harmed or killed, and he displayed this
Like, you know how sick and twisted you gotta be to just want to see somebody killed just because they're black? Like, that shit is so crazy. And I got news for you racist white people. Y'all the ones who eat people. All right? When you think about the Jeffrey Dahmers of the world, majority of the Jeffrey Dahmers are white. So you're actually the crazy ones, racist white people. When you think about slavery, that is sick. To make someone that's sick. So when you really want to talk about crazy and sick, that's you guys. You guys wake up mad every day because of how someone looks. You're sick. Sick ass niggas, B.
Callousness when he attempted to make excuses for the murder of Ahmaud.
It was obvious that he was attacking me, that if he would have got the shotgun from me, then this is a life or death situation.
Witnesses testified about Gregory McMichael's deeply racist comments to people he barely knew. His disdain for black people was evident in his derogatory remarks and his belief that they were nothing but trouble. The jury were also presented with racist text messages from Roddy Bryan, the neighbor who joined the pursuit. His derogatory language towards black people further highlighted the deeply ingrained prejudice within this group. The evidence was overwhelming, and the jury reached a verdict. In November 2021, Gregory and Travis McMichael were sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole.
With regard to the sentence in this case, as to Travis McMichael, Mr. McMichael, the court sentences you as follows. Count 1, malice murder, life without the possibility of parole.
But justice didn't stop there. In August of the same year, the McMichaels were once again given a life sentence after being found guilty of federal hate crimes. Roddy Bryan, on the other hand, was sentenced to 35 years for his role in the murders. Let's head to Multnomah County Courthouse, where Russell Cordier, a member of the notorious KKK, is about to be sentenced for his heinous crime. Cordier, along with his girlfriend, ran over a 19-year-old black boy outside a 7-Eleven convenience store.
What the hell is wrong with people, yo?
Following an altercation. Brace yourself as we uncover the horrifying details of this racially motivated murder and the trial that captivated the nation. It all began on a fateful summer night in Gresham, Oregon, on August 10th, 2016. Larnell Bruce, a 19-year-old African-American, found himself in the wrong place at the wrong time. Larnell Bruce had stopped at a 7-Eleven convenience store, unaware of the danger lurking in the shadows. Russell Cordier, a white supremacist and member of the European Kindred prison gang, happened to be there too. Fueled by his deep-rooted hatred, Cordier saw an opportunity to unleash his violent ideologies.
Boy, don't be trying to cry now. You wasn't crying. You was killing people for just how they look.
Larnell Bruce exited the store. Cordier and his girlfriend, Colleen Hunt, confronted him. A heated exchange ensued, with racial slurs and derogatory remarks filling the air. Bruce, understandably shaken, tried to distance himself from the escalating situation, but Cordier's rage knew no bounds. In a horrifying turn of events, Cordier and Hunt climbed into their Jeep, determined to inflict harm on Bruce. With hatred in their hearts, they pursued him relentlessly. Bruce, realizing the imminent danger, attempted to escape, but fate had a different plan. The Jeep, driven by Cordier, accelerated towards Bruce, striking him with a force that sent him flying through the air. The impact was devastating, leaving Bruce with life-threatening injuries. As he lay on the pavement fighting for his life, Cordier and Hunt callously fled the scene, leaving behind a trail of destruction. Emergency services rushed to the scene, desperately trying.
Did they really think they were going to get away with that? Like, you idiots, there's cameras everywhere. Then you were in your Jeep. Like, what idiots? And then you got the nerve to be crying. Shut up.
Trying to save Bruce's life. He was immediately transported to a nearby hospital, where doctors fought tirelessly to keep him alive. However, despite their best efforts, Bruce succumbed to his injuries 3 agonizing days later. The news of Larnell Bruce's senseless murder sent shockwaves through the community. People were outraged, demanding justice for this innocent young man whose life was cut short by the venomous hatred of Russell Cordier. The incident shed light on the deep-rooted racial tensions that still plague our society. As the investigation unfolded, the true extent of Cordier's involvement in white supremacist activities came to light. It became evident that this was not an isolated incident, but a reflection of his deeply ingrained beliefs. The murder of Larnell Bruce was a stark reminder that racism and bigotry continue to haunt our nation. The authorities wasted no time in apprehending Cordier and Hunt, bringing them to justice for their heinous crimes. The wheels of the legal system system were set in motion, and the trial that followed would expose the dark underbelly of hate-fueled violence. The murder trial of Russell Cordier gripped the nation as people eagerly awaited the verdict. The courtroom became a battleground where the fight for justice collided with the demons of racism. The prosecution presented a compelling case, highlighting the racial motivations behind the crime. Witnesses took the stand, recounting the events of that fateful night and the disturbing ideologies espoused by Cordier. Finally, after weeks of intense courtroom drama, the jury reached a verdict. Russell Cordier was found guilty of murder and hate crime, a decision
As he better had. The fuck?
that sent shockwaves through the courtroom. The weight of his actions finally caught up with him, and the consequences would be severe. The sentencing phase was a moment of reckoning. The judge, recognizing the gravity of the crime and the impact it had on the victim's family and the community, handed down a life sentence to Cordier. A minimum of 28 years behind bars would serve as a reminder of the life he took and the hatred he perpetuated.
But the victim's family believes it was all for show. The judge says he was driven by hate and anger when he ran over and killed Lerno.
As his sentence was read, Cordier was
I'm weak at the fact he crying. Like, boy, stop. Like, stop. You knew what you was on. You knew what you was doing. Don't be trying to cry now.
caught on camera crying. Colleen Hunt, Cordier's girlfriend and accomplice, also faced the consequences of her actions. She pleaded guilty to manslaughter and received a 10-year sentence. While not as severe as Cordier's punishment, it was a reminder that participation in such heinous acts would not go unpunished. Peyton Gendron. Take a seat at the Erie County Court, where 19-year-old Peyton Gendron is about to be sentenced.
Oh, nah, I'm done looking at him. I actually seen that. Because I'm pissed off at what he did at that damn supermarket.
15 AR-15 style rifle. Gendron arrived at the top supermarket with a
Yeah, I don't want to see that. Is that the last one? I didn't even know he was part of the KKK.
Americans. Their actions were fueled by racial hatred.
Okay, here we go. Oh, no, that's him again. And I think he's wrapping it up.
As their actions escalated to a
Hold on, guys.
shocking crimes. Norton and Torres, part of a white supremacist gang called Respect the Flag, targeted African Americans with racist taunts and threats. Their actions escalated when they disrupted an 8-year-old black child's birthday party, waving Confederate battle flags, shouting racial slurs, and making armed threats. Take a seat in the courtroom while we delve into this case, the trial, and their sentencing. Before we delve into the crime Norton and Torres committed.
Yo, I never even heard of that. Respect the flag? Like, what? Shut your bitch ass up, man.
It is essential to provide the background and explore the rise of the white supremacist gang known as Respect the Flag. This group, which Kayla Norton and Jose Torres were a part of, spread fear and hatred in their community through racist taunts and threats.
You got too much time on your hands to be doing all of this. Like, go get some pussy. You know what I mean? Go get some whatever you into. Like, this is just too much time on one person's hands. I'm sorry.
Respect the Flag emerged in the aftermath of the Charleston Church Massacre in 2015. The group was deeply angered by the removal of the Confederate battle flag from various sites, and they saw it as an attack on their heritage. With Confederate battle flags proudly displayed on their pickup trucks, they embarked on a mission to intimidate and terrorize African Americans. Their actions were fueled by racial hatred and a desire to assert their white supremacist beliefs. The gang targeted black families, spreading fear and making their presence known through verbal abuse and threats. The rise of Respect the Flag marked a dark chapter in the community as their actions escalated to a violent and shocking crime. Their actions during an 8-year-old black child's birthday party left the community in disbelief and fear. Armed with Confederate battle flags, the group drove by the partygoers, hurling racial slurs and making threats. Witnesses testified to the litany of racial slurs directed at the predominantly African American attendees. The situation took a violent turn when Jose Torres confronted the family with a loaded gun, an act that was captured on cell phone footage. The crime led to a trial where Norton and Torres faced charges of aggravated assault, making terroristic threats, and violating Georgia's Street Gang Terrorism and Prevention Act. The jury also found Torres guilty of aggravated assault. The trial revealed the extent of their involvement in the white supremacist gang and the deep-seated racial hatred that motivated their actions. After an emotional trial, Superior Court Judge William Bo McLean delivered the sentences that left many shocked. Torres received 13 years in prison and 7 years probation, while Norton was sentenced to
I like those years.
6 years in prison with 9 years probation. Both of them were also banished from Douglas County. The couple went profusely as soon as they heard their sentences. Kayla went ahead to show her remorse by apologizing to the victims.
No, I was in the wrong.
Girl, shut your ass up. You just sorry you got caught.
But I want you all to know that that is not me. That is not me.
The case of Kayla Norton and Jose Torres
Hey, look at his bitch ass crying. Shut your ass up, racist mother.
serves as a reminder that we must continue to fight against racism and hate in all its forms, striving for a more inclusive and tolerant society. In conclusion, the case of these KKK members reacting to life sentences sheds light on the deep-seated racism and hatred that still exists in our society. Their involvement in these heinous white-on-black crimes shows the depravity of humans and how deeply hate
Man, I agree with what he's saying, man. Y'all subscribe for the vibe. This shit is sad.